Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. It is so nice of you to stop by. So yes, you saw from the title, I purchased the Tati Blendiful, what are they calling them? Well, it just says the Blendiful. Now, I was very excited to get these and I wanted to get them very quickly. So I chose expedited shipping, which was really, really expensive. Essentially, I paid double for this. My total was $32 because of the shipping. I didn't know it could cost like $16 to ship something this light and fluffy. But nonetheless, I did because I wanted to get it and try it. And I'm mad because I got it yesterday and I was too freaking tired to film. C'est la vie. For those of you who do not know, Tati Westbrook is a beauty influencer with an extremely large platform. She has just under 10 million subscribers. And just the other day, she filmed a video talking about her new release, which was going to be the Blendiful. Now, they don't even say what it was. It says one Blendiful and one baby Blendiful. I did pull up her website because once I open and show you the products, I'm going to do as much of a full face as I can because I did watch her video. She says you can use it to apply primer, liquid, powder products, blush, bronzer, the highlight. You can do the whole thing and we're going to put that to the test. I do like the simplistic packaging, except I feel like I'm opening a container of cat treats. Just how I associate things. And I will say, just reaching in and touching them in the bag, they're extremely soft and fuzzy. And you know how much I like soft and fuzzy things. But seeing it in person, it actually looks like a giant guitar pick. Of course, you knew I would associate it with that too, didn't you? This is a velour material, much like the more expensive powders, puffs or powder sponges that you get in the higher end powders. It feels a bit squishy. I think, like, I'm imagining there's a piece of foam in here. I don't know what type of foam. And then this on the outside as the covering. It does have a little strap here so that you can hold it. She said that it is foldable and flexible, and yeah, I totally agree, and it bounces back very nicely. And then she's got this, it almost looks chocolate brown. I think that is chocolate brown in my opinion. This one feels a little thicker. I do enjoy the heart shape. The little handle on the back also says Tati Beauty, and this one is most definitely foldable and squishy as well. She's calling this more of a touch-up. I may try this for underneath the eyes, and I haven't decided, I said, but I do have my bag of stuff. All you need is love and a cat. Yep. I pay for this myself. I do not have PR. So to me, this is going to be a review from a real person, a real consumer, not a person who has received PR, not a person who's friends with her. And you're going to get my honest opinion. So let's just read a little bit about this little guy here. So it says, the Blendiful is the makeup applicator you didn't know you needed. This game-changing, soft-textured fabric tool is a blending dream that's designed to seamlessly apply and soften both liquid and powder products. The rounded edge and pointed tip help to provide a perfect blend step-to-step. Pointed tip help to provide a perfect blend step-to-step in your makeup application. I'm still trying to process that sentence. Buff and foundation with little product waste, experience seamless contour, smoother concealer, and the most airbrushed powder application, even in those hard to reach areas of the face. Save product, save time, and become the expert artist of your own unique routine, however you choose to use the Blendiful. Your look will be one with no harsh lines every time. So we're going to do what she says. I've moisturized my face already using the same products that I would use on the daily since, you know, I want to give this a good go. It says, Step 1 Primer. Banish the appearance of pores and fine lines by using a pressing motion with a blurring primer. All right. Now, she's saying that, you know, we can only use a blurring primer. Is there a certain type of primer that we can only use? You know, I think it's just a little bit vague. Now, I know that in the video she used the Timeless Tarte smoothing pore primer, pore smoothing primer. I don't know. This is the fancy one. I do enjoy this primer, but I don't use it all over my face, and I wanted to finish up my YSL primer, the Touche Éclat. So I'm going to try this primer. I'm going to try using a little piece, a little portion of this thingy-majiggy here, and press this in, and then I'm going to try the Timeless More Poothing Primer. You knew it had to happen. Smoothing primer, and see how that goes. Now, I'm not one to put on primer with an applicator. I've always used my fingers, and I kind of feel I just wiped it all off. Yeah, this type of a primer definitely goes on better with your fingers. I said you can't really press that kind of primer into your skin. So we're going to take a little bit of this, which is more putty-like. The other products you could probably try are the e.l.f. primer or the Tatcha primer. I would consider those like pore filling maybe and smoothing. I don't know. We're going to try this. And no. Yeah, I didn't like that. That wasn't doing anything. I mean, maybe after the fact, by pressing it in. So, I mean, this primer does blur a lot of things, and I said I'm just going to go over it and tap it in. But honestly, I don't really think that made a difference. As I said, primer isn't something that I want to apply with one of these anyway, so that's probably not for me. Step 2, foundation. Easily glide on foundation with a sweeping or buffing motion to achieve a flawless and airbrushed look. I haven't used this in a bit, and I wanted to. This is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Foundation. I am in the color MN3. This came out a little while. This is the foundation that has 100 shades. And yes, finding your shade is a pain. I'm going to put it on my hand, and then I'm going to try putting it directly on the sponge. Now, she says to use an easily glide, yeah, foundation on with a sweeping or blurring motion. I'll try a sweeping motion on this side and a buffing motion, not a blurring motion. So I'm going to put a little bit on here. Tap some on there. Now I wanted to use a little bit more of a full coverage foundation because I wanted it to show up so you can see. It's a little streaky. I'm just going to zoom you in, and it's kind of creating some of the hairs. Let me try like pressing like a beauty blender. But I mean, that's really not what she did. This foundation is supposed to have a little bit more coverage. You can see there's quite a bit of it on here. And I mean, it kind of took a lot of it off. Do you see much of a difference between the sides? I'm going to put this on my face and now do it. And I'm using a very light hand. I'm not pulling too hard. Okay, the second coat is better. I'm using a little bit of a lighter hand. I still see streaks. Every time I pull it down, I see a streak. I mean, that helped a little bit. I never have to use this much of this, but it's not covering things, so let me just try tapping again. See, the tapping motion doesn't really do much. But without adding any other product, I'm going to go onto the other side and see what happens. There's definitely some product left on this little thingy here. Not enough to cover my whole face. So I'm going to take it on here, and when she says a buffing motion, I'm going to buff in circles and see what happens. I think buffing kind of takes it away. I don't know if it's really getting it into the skin. Using a light hand and just buffing. My parents are just walking in the door. Prepare for the TV. Just saying. Okay, I think this is an acceptable application. It's smoothed everything out, and it does look good. There could be a learning curve to it. You never know. But I would be completely happy if I had to go out with my foundation like this. So what I'd like to do now is try with the concealer. I'm going to try the concealer with this and folding it and pressing it. You know, like I'm going to go over my smile lines here and make sure nothing's settling. I am going to use my favorite concealer combination because I wanted to give it an accurate chance. I don't want to use a concealer that I don't like. I'm using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and this is in the color Light Beige, and I'm also using the Maybelline Infallible Full Wear. This is in the color 325. Letting it sit for a moment, as I usually do. If I was going to use either my finger or a beauty blender, I would still let it sit for a couple of seconds. So again, here's what it's looking like so far. Now I'm going to take this end and I'm going to bunch it up just like she did, like a little burrito. No, taco. Now I don't think I'm going to drag the concealer. I'm going to tap it in. I wouldn't drag it with a beauty blender either. It's hard to use the corners by the little, I don't even know what to call the strap handle. I'm not sure. Like I'm trying to get a good edge and it's hard to find one. I think this is soaking up actually a little less than a beauty blender. In here is the hardest part because my concealer always looks horrific on this, you know, in the inner corner of my eyes and on this side of my nose. I mean, it's not bad. I'd say it's just as good as the Beauty Blender. I do want to try the little baby one and see if it does any differently. It's such a catch-22. The more concealer you put on aging under eyes, the more creepy and horrible it looks, but you still have dark circles, so you have to put more on. It's an endless vicious cycle. And I still have some of my eye makeup on. Because I came home from work and I just took off my makeup, and I guess I didn't take off all my eye makeup. I mean, basically, it's exactly the same as it would look if I did it with my fingers or a beauty blender. Let's continue, shall we? I just did concealer. Use the pointed tip to easily lay down a smooth and even amount of concealer where precision is needed. Would I say it's really precise? Again, maybe a learning curve? Maybe having to get more used to it? We'll see. Because I'm not going to use it once and just, you know, give up on it. I'll give you my initial thoughts, and then I'll come back at a later time in a couple of weeks after I've used it for quite a bunch of time and let you know how I really feel. Okay, so the next thing she's saying we can do is contour. Folding in half around your finger. So she's using her index finger and this finger is wrapping around. Use a striping motion to pick up and lay down your contour to the angles of the face, and then softly bluff out the edges. Now I have both a cream contour and a powder contour. For one of the powder contours, I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs. Which one is this? 20 Dream Filter. It has a fairly cool toned bronzer here. You can see I've made quite a dip in it already. And for my cream are my e.l.f. Whoops, you can see there, filthy mirror. My e.l.f. cream products. It appears that she's doing this. She's kind of folding this around her finger, like so, and she's got her finger like this, so. I don't think it gives, like, a chiseled line, but it is nice to use, and it does blend it out very nicely. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, she's got a total chisel on her face. When you see the picture, I don't know how she could get that total chisel unless I just don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm holding it like she's holding it. I'll say this, it is blending the creams extremely nicely. Now comes the true test because I am going to try it with the powder. But first I would have to powder the rest of my face, and of course she says you can do that, so we're going to take that next step. Step 5, powder. Dip into your favorite powder and use a patting motion to lay down product for an airbrushed locked-in finish. We're going to use my Lawless powder. I have this in Classic Translucent. So it looks like she's holding it kind of like, not quite as rounded, but like more like this and the fatter edge. Now, that picks up a lot of powder. And it deposits a lot of powder. I would never use this much. Now, I sometimes do pat in my powder, but the puffs I use always pick up much less. I wonder if I can like tap it off or something. Well, I think it looks pretty nice. Like nothing's look cakey. I thought that amount of powder might have caked everything up, but actually it didn't. Again, I can't see how I could use this maybe more than twice. Maybe if I flip it over. Ah, yes. Well, it doesn't actually, does it? Yeah. You can flip this thing over. That's what they do, the professional puffs, is you can flip it to either side. So, I want to try this lighter Marc Jacobs. Now, again, it picked up a lot. I kind of dragged it a little bit, and now I'm just patting. Now, I will say this. Now, I didn't set my under eyes yet, but the concealer's really creasing a lot. I'm going to set my under eyes with this white powder here. Normally, I would use either the loose powder or the lighter powders in my Park Avenue Princess palette. Now, this didn't make any difference in the smoothness underneath my eyes. My eyes still look dry and crepey, as they always do as soon as I put powder on my concealer. So it didn't change that game for me. Oh, I forgot I also had this Morphe palette. I want to try this little bit more warmer bronzer here. And I see what it does on like the apples of my cheeks here. This Morphe palette is very nice, but goodness gracious are these pigmented. Let's try some blush. I'm going to use the Ofra and Madison Miller palette. It has 2 highlighters and a blush. I don't know whether I'll use the highlighters or not. I'll see what mood I am in. Okay, let's see what she says applying blush, if she has a different technique. Step 6 is highlight. Taking an angled side, and it appears that she is using the Baby, I think. Dab on cream or powder highlight to the places you want to glow. This might have a cute little edge, but let's do the blush first. I'm going to try a rounded edge for the blush. Okay, again, it applied it beautifully. Now here comes the highlighter. Here we go. Now this does apply it a little bit thicker than I'm used to. I am used to using a much smaller brush. You can see maybe I have to get it on a smaller edge or something, right on the tip. Oh, this just got, no, add something else on there. So that's a problem. You'd have to buy multiples of these, I think, so you're not like cross-contaminating the products all into each other. Okay, I do like the way it applies the highlighter on my Cupid's bow because it doesn't scatter everywhere. It's like direct, so I like that. I'm using the Fenty Mean Money and Hustler Baby. I can say one thing, it's definitely, I feel like it's locking things into place, but at the same time it's feeling a little heavy. I'm not used to wearing this much powder or layers, I think, because it does go in so heavily. Okay, it looks like, I can't, you're going to have to tell me, but in here, the lighting, it's looking a little heavy. Okay, I just went into my bedroom and I am shocked I'm going to say this. I do have to fix this little one thing here because it got a little. My face looks completely matte and not necessarily in a bad way. As I said, I feel like these guys are pressing the products into your skin. I thought it looked a little heavy here when I looked in this mirror, but again, these lights are kind of janky, you know? I think with this application, everything's going to stay where it's meant to be because I said it seems very just, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like pressed in and set. Now, if you think it's too much, what I do want to do is I want to spray my MAC Fix Plus and see how this makes it look afterwards. Okay, the spray went on nicely. It really didn't disrupt anything. Methinks I like it. On first impression, in the beginning I was like, especially with the foundation, I wasn't sure. But in the end, I like it. Now, obviously, it's late at night. It's after work. I can't give you like a wear test on how things work or how this touches up. I'm going to continue to use it. Now, I said for me, like I would want to wash these right away. But see, the beauty blenders, you wash them and you can use them wet. These you have to wait till they dry. So I also went and do a wash test, see what happens. So again, I'm going to come back in a little bit of time, couple of weeks, and let you know my final thoughts. First impression is that they're $18. Now, a beauty blender is $20. I don't really enjoy that. For 2 sponges for $18, you figure this one's, I'd say 10 and 8, or 12 and 6, however you want to divide it up. It's not a bad price. I chose to pay the $15 for the expedited shipping, or was it $13? I just know my total was over $30, which is a lot of money. But again, that was my choice because I wanted to try to get this video up one of the first people. So I'm really glad I got them. I'm happy to continue using them. And for a first impression, I give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. I will be doing close-ups as I do this, so you guys will get a good look at everything. You know what my face looks like. Well, most of you do anyway. These feel like nugget. Some of you may understand that, but they definitely feel like nugget. She will try to steal them. So that is it, my friends. So I'm curious, are any of you thinking about picking these up? I had a very smooth time purchasing them without any hassle or difficulty. I didn't feel the rush to get on there. It wasn't that horrible migraine-inducing pressure to get that thing. No, it was smooth. It was easy. I ordered it a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, once I was on my lunch or dinner break, whatever. And it was nice. It was easy. No chaos. Went through. Thank you, Tati. But again, I would love to know if you got it, if you're planning on getting it. And I would love to hear your thoughts as well, because that is the best part of my day, because you are all amazingly wonderful. I love you tremendously. And of course, my friends, whatever part of the world you're in and around, I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. And I'll see you really soon. I have like boxes over there for days. I got so many videos to film. Okay. Hi. Bye.